Welcome back, everyone, to Array Tarot. So excited to do this love reading today. If you're new to the channel, like and share the video with someone that you feel like it can help. Love that. Thank you. If you would like to have access to the extended reads, which are weekly card pulls, predictive sessions for Aries all the way to Pisces, go ahead and use the link in the description box. And it is only $3.33 a month. You cannot beat that with a bat. Let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start off by channeling. Okay. Thank you, universe. Thank you for this opportunity to channel on behalf of you, bringing messages of wealth, health, abundance, understanding, a sense of clarity, and all that jazz. All that beautiful energy. Please allow the messages to come across in clear and concise ways, distinct ways, and let the messages be for the highest vibrational good only. We live in this constant state of gratitude. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Ashe, ashe, ashe. Let your energy be in your ashe. Okay. So the first card that's coming up for this love is Mars. So I'm seeing a lot of action here, a lot of love being a kind of focus going on. So let's just see if we can get some messages from your twin flame or from your soulmate. Let's do twin flame first, because I know sometimes people have these weird energies with their twin flame. It gets very interesting sometimes. Twin flame, soulmate, and then we'll do partner. Yes, they can all be the same or they can be very different. So twin flame is sending a fourth house energy here, which is I belong. So you're probably asking, like, what does that mean when it comes to something like twin flame? Well, it's saying that the twin flame energy is trying to make up for an experience that you felt wounded of in your upbringing, in your child. So if you're attracted to this kind of energy, it is because they are playing out certain roles or certain dynamics that you had learned in your childhood. Let's read it. It says, this is the house of origin, where here is where we see our home, bloodlines, feelings of safety. That's important. Feelings of comfort, mother figure, tradition and lifestyle. It also shows where we come from. So these twin flames are showing up in one way or the other to indicate feelings of safety, feelings of comfort, and all kinds of different kind of feelings of just feeling like you are not alone. So if you're balanced, here's the thing, you can attract a twin flame that is enabling. So they overdo it to the point where you're not able to really learn in the direction that you need to go in. You can, and that is a reflection of, maybe you've always looked at someone else to kind of bridge the gap for you, romantically looking for someone else to like make those decisions for you. And then we can actually take it to the other side where maybe you've been very closed off and very guarded. So the person will not be able to give you that comfort, will not be able to give you that safety. And you're just like, nah. And someone who is balanced in the middle will be able to do it in just the way that you need, in a way that is very much so comforting for you. And twin flames are not always someone that you end up with. It's someone that can be a bit of a soulmate at times, but more of like a reflection of your love language, your love life, and your love pursuit that is happening. And I think that the twin flame energy is an energy that can kind of hop and flow between person to person. So you could be recalibrating and rechecking, how this is going from these twin flame connections that you're having with people, and it could be different people. So I pulled up your soulmate. And so this soulmate connection brought South Node, and it also brought first house, which represents Mars energies, Aries energy. Okay. So that means right now what you're going to be dealing with is more than likely is going to be some soulmate energy vibes. So your soulmate is saying, first house, I am, is going to be someone from your past. It's going to be someone that you have a history with. And again, we got to look at things in a fluid, versatile, long continuum energy. You have a couple of soulmates, but this particular soulmate, when it comes to love, and of course you can end up with your soulmate, you cannot. It just depends, and it doesn't mean your life is going to be any better or any worse. But this particular soulmate is sending the vibe that they are deeply from your past. So, there might be something that happens here that you're just doing in general, some reevaluation here of reflecting, how did this work? Or, a blast from the past. Sometimes people will reach out to you and just be like, been thinking about you. How are you doing? So this might be a period of time where you all are just catching up and you're kind of remembering, a bit about this person, and it reminds you of you, because these soulmates come at certain times where they really are with you as you are building certain aspects of your personality. Now, things go and flow either way. So if it was a particularly toxic relationship, it might be one of those things where a part of you is you're really closed up and you're really reserved and you can't, open yourself up. And this is bringing it up for you. Either they're uncomfortable to deal with still now, or maybe they're at a better place and you're just having this sense of reaction, or maybe it's just neutral and you're just having this reflection that's going on here. And then it can also be from another perspective too. It can be from the perspective of like the opposite going on, where things maybe were really, really great and you really enjoyed that feeling, and maybe it's situations like sometimes like timing is just off. And I think usually timing is off when you're having a good time with someone, but maybe you haven't built your life out with them yet, but then you're like, oh, gotta move for here, move for that. And you say, let's just try long term, or let's try to stay friends. And just life gets away from you. You're going to be reminded of that during this period. So we're going to really focus on that. And then, just asking the universe, give us some messages about long-term partnership. Who is the most viable person, or just the long-term partner? And that could be your twin flame, that could be your soulmate. Long-term partner. Oh, okay. So I'm going to tell you something interesting. Long-term partner, 12th house, I surrender. 12th house, I surrender. So I'm getting almost a little bit of twin flame vibe going on here, just because they're sharing in their element, but it's whomever that you can just, let go of all your preconceived notions and just be, with that person. And the energy, the way it's coming off is kind of funny. It's coming off in a kind of way of like the person who, you can least suspect them, or you can suspect them, but it's just the person. It's a timing for you rather than the person. There's going to be a moment where just you are in a different state, and the person that calibrates to that energy is the person that you're going to stick with, and the person that it'll be healthy, and you're going to look back like, didn't even see that coming, whether that's someone who's already in your life or someone who's around your life. With this solar eclipse energy, whenever there's a solar eclipse, because there's going to be a solar eclipse in Gemini on June 10th, whenever there's a solar eclipse, that is energy right there of it's bringing the message of them. So maybe they pop up in your mind, maybe there's something that you do that makes you think of them, or maybe you all are in some type of communication or energy together. Maybe it's someone you're with already now, but that's going to be really, really important, because it kind of sends these messages across long term of that energy that's growing there. And partners aren't always romantic. Honestly, partnerships can be long term too, if it's kind of like a strategic thing that you're looking to do. And all of these things, twin flames and soulmates don't necessarily have to be romantic. It just depends on what you value, but don't you love modern times? I don't know, this probably existed before modern times, but I love how things can be like not romantic, but still strangely like sexual at the same time. It's like, whoa, where does that fit in? Whatever, people are figuring it out. So there's this sense of knowledge around here. Like everything I'm saying, you're like, I know, you are feeling like, oh, I got this energy. It's bringing a lot of validation for what's already coming up in your love life here. Let's ask the universe for more messages. Should we look at your love story? Let's look at it in a funny way. Okay, let's look at your love story in a funny way. Can you bring us, universe, more messages of your love story in a higher vibrational, dare I say satirical way, to be able to bring these messages of clarity, to bring love, to bring balance, to bring certainty. Thank you. You've always been able to manifest the right person that you were looking for. Like, you've always had this ability that if there was someone that you liked, for some reason you could like will them to you. Or if you were saying like, this is the time of my life, because that's why that energy came across for you, which is like, it's less about the person and more about the timing for you. So if there was a particular time in your life where you're like, this is what I'm looking for, you've willed people to yourself. But because of that, you've kind of evolved again and again and again. And it's like, every time you let go of something that doesn't work out, you let go of that aspect of yourself that is no longer working out. And so you're a very different person. That's why when I said like timing, it might even be like someone from your past, and just being able to have a better sense of timing right now, because you're a new person. The person you were there then, maybe it didn't fit out there. And it's so funny because, you're always the one who seems to be like getting hurt. But you're not. You're actually the one who's in control. Like, what's going on. So try not to play the victim too much. You're like the victim that's a secret villain. Sorry, didn't mean to say it like that. But I'm just saying you have more power over what's going on. And you can see things. You're usually the more like romantically savvy, but it also lets you know that like you got to let go of certain patterns that don't serve you, just because it's how you've always done, dating and romance. Anything else about this love story, about this partnership that's coming up right now? Four of Swords. Something about this is mind games. Something about this is like, you just cannot get them out of your head, or they can't get you out of their head. Something about it is just this mental picture of just things that have been like low-key unhealthy, but like things that they feel or you feel about them that is just like, oh, you're just thinking about them constantly. So if there's someone on your mind that you're thinking about constantly, that's some validation going on here, that the message is coming across for that. But just thinking about them, and making up, either you or them are making up whatever it is you need, qualities you need them to have in order to fulfill what it is that either one of you all are looking for. And then I'm getting this, you like people who are a little bit different. You like people who are different than each other. I wouldn't even say like, you might have a type of like, oh, you want someone who's attractive, but like for you, it's more of like, your type is, you want the person that you date to be different than the last person, because you're always changing and you're always shifting and you're always exploring romantically, like what is the best balance for you. So 9 times out of 10, if this is someone from your past, they probably have changed too. They probably have taken a leap and changed just like you. And that's why this is kind of like alluring and intriguing in the moment. Anything else, universe, about their story? Anything they should be working on right now? Okay, let's see. If there's anything y'all should be working on right now. Work on actually building up the important things. So like, if this was someone in your life that you knew before and it just was timing maybe just didn't work out in the way that you wanted it to work out, it's saying like, get the actual like housekeeping in order for this. And that means like, long term, do y'all share the same vision and long term values? Do you share the same ideas and partnerships of like what you want from a partner? Get that out the way. It's saying like just do that, get that out the way, because that might have been like a roadblock before, and the quicker you can get that out the way, the better that you could actually see if this is going to work out for you. Any other messages for them in the near future of what they're going through or they're looking at? See any messages in the near future. Then we have the Page of Swords. So it's just the we already pulled this, so it's just reiterating the same message. Be okay with the change, be very flexible with this, allow it to mold with you, because it's sending the vibe that you're probably, you or they, or it could be a toss up of both, are probably having a lot of changes that are happening to you, and the best relationship or the best connections to be viable long-term partnerships to be like investing in at this time has to be something that can roll with the punches with you. Like, does that make sense? Meaning, like, since you're growing right now, you don't want something that is so firmly built out and so finite that as you grow, you outgrow it, or they outgrow you, or y'all grow on two different pages, because it's so malleable. Even though you want to like solidify things right now and just make it like, what is this? Allow it to have a little bit more flexibility, because in the long term, it's going to work out really, really well for you, like really, really well, to approach it in this kind of way. Let's see. What else do we want to know? Let's bring across some more messages. Let's look at it from the perspective of what you could be learning on a soul level right now. Universe, what could you be learning at a soul level right now? What's the point of this? Why are you going through this, huh? We have the Prophet. So you've known, for a long time how this is going to turn out for you. You've been able to kind of connect to knowing. It's like you knew, like, once this happened in your life, you're like, okay, this is the time, and you have this ability about yourself to see things for what they are. That's why I was like, you're kind of the more clever of the two in relationships with people, because you have this strong ability that's showing up right here. And because you have this strong ability, you see it. And you've almost been waiting. You've been feeling like there's a calling that is calling you in this direction to be able to have this connection, whether it's temporary or long term. But you see this as a part of the big thing that you're going to be doing and long term going to be doing. Who you're going to be doing, or what direction you're going in, and you're connecting really in that energy. So let's just do a little bit more of this, and let's bring some validation to those who are not looking, those who are single and looking, and those who are in a situation or a relationship. So let's start off with the situations and the relationships. For those who have someone, what's the energy here? Okay, what's the energy going on for this partnership long term? Memory. So it's actually highly, 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 highly important at this time that you all are able to grow with each other. Make sure that you all are able to get past any of the initial maybe hiccups that you may have had in your relationship, or make sure that you are growing in a new level, because sometimes people can harbor feelings for a very, very, very long time and not be able to get past it. But at the same time, if you're in relationships, situationships, whatever, partnerships in which you all have a growth mentality, then it becomes a different picture. Then it's like you remember all of those lovely and wonderful moments. So it's finding balance here, and either you're on one side or the other side, or luckily in the middle or something like that. So if you're on the one side where it's just like y'all need to do some forgiveness, y'all need to be able to let go or to balance out the memories of the past, that's the work that needs to happen here. for this partnership to be long-term viable. And it doesn't mean that there's new people who are poking up or popping up in your life. It might be that, there's certain traits about this person that you're with that you are remembering it as it's popping up at different times if you're going through a tough time. On the other side, if you're feeling really, really balanced here and you're feeling like, whoa, okay, this is really, really great. It really is a moment of celebration, a moment of kind of dialing in and focusing in more on this energy and on this individual. And it's actually really, really beautiful to be able to do so. And if you're right in the middle, you're right in the middle. That's always a lovely energy. So let's look at messages for people who are single / looking. Let's see. Any messages for those who are single / looking? Crone. Who doesn't love a good crone energy? Crone energy is sending the message of don't be stupid. Don't be foolish. It's saying don't make the same mistakes you made before. Don't get stuck in the same stuff that you were doing before. Does that make sense? It's just sending the message out here where it's like, hey, you've done things 1,000 times before, and here it is, you're still looking to do the same stuff just in a different scenario. No, learn from the lesson and actually do things in a different way. Use all the wisdom that you learned and approach it in a new way. That's going to be much better for you in the long term. A lot of times people will not work out with someone, and rightfully so. Maybe the person is trash, but then they'll want to repeat the same thing that they did in a new relationship, situationship, dating, and just be upset. Well, here's the thing. That person may have been toxic, but you are the person who allows that opportunity to be in their life. Okay, so you have to hold yourself more accountable to see like, okay, this is who I want in, or this is who I don't want in, or just do that healing journey of knowing who you should and shouldn't let in. Because a lot of times the way that you first came to understand love or envision love or how you see love really started off in those early years. And so going back in time, being able to balance that for your highest good and where you want to go in your future will help you to decide better. And then that crone energy is saying, look, be very wise about what you're pursuing and what direction you're going in. And for those who, are not looking, but they may have platonic situations, they may have, they might just be in a different place, but they still are connecting with love, but just not in the kind of like long-term partner kind of situation. So the universe is sending the message of, look, if you're free, stay free. It's saying that you're exactly where you need to be. Freedom. Do not feel pressured to get into a relationship. Do not feel pressured to have to be romantic. Like right now, this is an opportunity for you to have freedom. So go ahead and stick with that freedom. Like you feel really, really good. This is validating that like you feel like you're at the exact place that you need to be. And there's nothing wrong with that. Actually, you should celebrate that. It's an indication that maybe you were really tied up in a relationship for a long time and you just need the freedom, or maybe you're just like, I don't really know, right now you're TBD. So continue to flow here, because if you would like a long-term partnership, it's going to show up because you have this energy. Everyone can learn from this freedom energy here. So that's what's coming up. So let's give you one last message. Anything else, universe, that you want to send across for this love? Oh, this is so cute. Let's look at it. Oh my gosh. Self-love. Oh my, I love this part. Okay. No matter who you end up with, no matter what's coming up for you, everything that you experience on the outside is a reflection of the inside. So if you're not whole and together on the inside, the outside is definitely going to be a struggle. So the prerequisite or the precursor of any type of love is the love within self. If you get that together, then everything else will flow and follow. Well, I hope you enjoyed this love reading. Really excited to share these with you. Come back each week. You know, we got love, we got the coins, baby, and we got the moon cycle readings too, where we see what's coming up with the different phases of the moon and how that's impacting us. If you would like to have access to the extended reads, which are weekly predictive reads from Aries all the way to Pisces, go ahead and use the link in the description. It is only $3.33 a month. You cannot beat that with a bet. Okay, so I will see you next time. Bye.